Hi, second graders. Mrs. Cagney back here with some science and writing. So we're talking about writing our bug report, which we will start next week, remember. And as you know, you need some paper, pencil, markers, crayons, or colored pencils. You need a folder, notebook, or if you're like me, you have a big envelope to put all your things in. And you're going to need some sources, which Mrs. B and I will help you with. All right? But that's all for next week. I just want you to be prepared. We're going to go on with what we were talking about yesterday. We will research habitat of our insect and also the diet of our insect. So yesterday for your assignment, you wrote out the definition of a habitat, the natural home of an animal, or an insect in our case. And now, today, you're going to write out the definition of diet, which is, read it with me, food an animal, or in our case, an insect, eats. In your report, you will also need to include how your insect eats it, because you will find, as you look around at different insect information about different insects, that they eat in different ways. In this book that I have from school, it's called Bug Safari. We can read right here, a butterfly is a caterpillar all grown up. You can see butterflies on almost any sunny day drinking the nectar from flowers. So if you were doing a report on butterflies, you would say that they eat nectar and they actually drink it, right, from flowers. But if you were doing a mantis, a praying mantis, there's a picture of him. It says the mantis holds its front legs together so it looks as if it is praying. That's why it's sometimes called a praying mantis. The mantis is a very quick hunter. It can snatch other bugs right out of the air as they fly by. So that bee better watch out, right? The mantis might just snatch him right out of the air. And then this one is a good one. Flies are expert flyers and can move quickly. Some kinds can even take off backwards or sideways. Flies cannot chew, so that would be important to tell in your report if you choose flies. And they must drink all their food. So you can see that different insects have different ways of eating, and they eat different things. Right at the bottom of the walking stick, this is a drawing of a walking stick. They actually look like sticks, and they camouflage that way. But at the very end of this little paragraph, it says, these slow-moving bugs like to eat leaves. So you will have to discover, as you read about your insect, what it likes to eat. Now, I have, remember these cards I have? So someone might choose a moth. You see him camouflaging on that tree? I think that's amazing. On the back, listen to this. It says, the moth larvae eat plant matter, or fabrics, like material, like clothes. Moths get into closet sometimes and they want to eat your clothes, including wool. Some adults sip nectar or tree sap, and some don't eat at all. What? So anyway, the larva, which would be like the baby form of a moth, like a little, almost looks like a little caterpillar, sort of. They would eat plant matter, so that just means plants, or fabrics. But the adults sip nectar or tree sap. So something different. So if you chose a moth, you'd have to tell how the babies eat and how the adults eat. Let's see what a flea eats. Larva eats organic matter. Adults eat blood. So the babies eat things like probably leaves, dirt, I don't know. But the adults eat blood, and that's why I give Gordy medicine to keep the fleas away. Otherwise, they'll drink his blood. Tarantulas. Ooh, scary, huh? Big old spider. They eat insects and other bugs. Do you see that? Larger species eat lizards, birds, and mice. So tarantulas can get so big that they could actually eat those creatures. Isn't that something? All right, yesterday, remember, we talked about habitat, and I forgot to show you my notes on habitat and my paragraph on habitat. But now I have my envelope here, remember? And underneath, I've got my notes and my paragraph. So I'd like to show you what I did so far. Under here is description. I did them out of order accidentally. It doesn't really matter, but here are my notes I took on the habitat of the mourning cloak butterfly. It's called the mourning cloak butterfly. They live in Minnesota, also Eurasia. Have you ever heard of that? Eurasia? That's between Europe and Asia and North America. Willows, poplars, elm, hackleberry, and birch leaves they live on, and so in those trees, right? They live in woods, parks, and suburbs. They live in, I never heard of this before, riparian areas, which I had to look up. That's like the border of rivers. And do you see, when you write notes, am I writing complete sentences? No, I'm not. I'm just writing the actual information that I really need. And then when I write my report, I'll make them into sentences. So right here, do you see where I just put an R for river? Because I know that means river. Live where host plants grow. Older caterpillars wander more on plants they don't eat. So those were my habitat notes. Here's how I turned those into a paragraph. The mourning cloak butterfly lives in North America, including our home state, Minnesota. These beautiful creatures also live in Europe and Asia. They live where their food is. That means they like willow, poplar, elm, hackleberry, and birch trees. They also live around the edges of rivers. Oops, I need to write an S there, don't I? Sometimes older caterpillars wander onto plants they don't eat. I'm going to fix that word right now and put my S on it. Okay. Then I have my notes on diet to show you. Young leaves, so they like to eat young leaves. Oak tree sap. Oops, I put saps, but should have just been sap. Walk down the trunk to sap. Feed head down. So I read that they do that, and I just wrote the words I thought I really needed so that I would remember. Rotting fruit, sometimes flower nectar. So I made that into a paragraph. Here is how it goes. Diet, I made a heading there. Do you see it? There's my habitat heading and my diet heading. Young leaves and sap are the main meals of the mourning cloak butterfly. When they want some sap, they walk down the trunk to find the sap and eat with their head going downward. These butterflies also eat rotting fruit and sometimes flower nectar. So do you see how we're going to be doing that? Does that make sense? All right, for your assignment today, you just need to write, oops, I moved my camera weird. You just need to write the definition of diet. Food an animal or insect eats. Okay? Have a good day.